describe your management style?
I believe I'm one that likes to take ownership of a situation right away. I believe it's important to listen to department heads, listen to what they have to take, listen to their suggestions, but at the end of the day, the decision comes from the mayor's office. I know the mayor comes from the banking industry where they have a lot of groups and committees, and he's used to that type of style, and it probably works for him. For me, I believe committees are fine to a point, but I'm a type of person that likes to meet one-on-one with department heads, talk about issues, and just make my decision off of what I've learned.
Well, you've said that you would surround yourself with the best and the brightest.
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that, and who are you talking about?
I'm talking about you surround yourself, department heads, administrative officer for the city. We got to replace that. That's a position that needs to be replaced. It has to be filled. I think it's very, very important. It takes a lot of weight off the shoulders of the mayor's office. I believe you need the best qualified people in your departments, and that's what I mean by that. Surrounding yourself with the best of the best.
Does that mean you would make staffing changes?
Everything's on the table. When you come in to a new situation, if I was to win next week the mayoral race, you go in and you look at your department by department, and you make decisions. That doesn't mean everybody's going to be wholesale changes, but you're going to look and see what's important, where you can improve.
Okay.
If I may?
Yeah.
Can I just come back and
Sure,
say just a little bit? When I came into City Hall, having been involved in the council and certainly having known a lot of the processes prior to, I felt as though the staff in City Hall, globally, I think the staff in the city was very, very competent. And what I did was basically just took that first year to work with everyone to analyze their abilities and discuss any of the shortcomings and work out some of those kinks. We basically, I should say, I basically lost no one. The administrative officer, yes, but as far as he went to drive trains or ride on trains, as you know, Jay Green. And I do agree with the administrative officer position, but I also think there's a workaround to that where we could save a lot of money, and I'm actually working on a different type of an administrative structure right now.
Okay. Okay, here's a question. What do you see, and I'm going to throw that to Mr. Boucher, what do you see when you look at Main Street?
I see a lot of potential, but a lot of empty storefronts. We touched on the importance that the Mohawk plays in downtown, in the downtown. I know we differ on this. I believe it should be a for-profit entity to take charge of the Mohawk. And if they want to partner with MCLA and MoCA, that's fine. But I think, we got $2.2 million of historical tax credits that are there and available. I know the mayor feels that we don't need to use the $2.2 million in tax credits. I think it's important, and I think it should be a for-profit entity that takes charge of that.
Well, since you brought it up, that's one of the questions I had to follow up on. What makes you think a for-profit would want to buy the Mohawk, considering it's a small theater, and a lot of small theaters are not doing well even as nonprofits?
I think the potential there. You can look at Pittsfield or wherever if you want to, but I just think we have a different following here. I think we're strong in the arts, and we got the MCLA, we got MoCA. You don't forget MoCA is the largest performing art museum in the country. We have an opportunity.
But they already have their own theater.
I know
and that's
they
been
do,
one of the issues.
but we know
their own theater.
I know
and that's
they
been
do,
one of the issues.
but we know we talk about increasing foot traffic, increasing revenues. I think it's very important that a for-profit entity takes charge of this, and they got more to lose. And I think it'll make people more creative and work harder to get this and make it successful.
Have you know of any? Have you done any research on it?
To be very honest with you, no, I haven't. But that's a very important piece to downtown. So.
Well, Mr. Alkemar, would you like to
I would just
that?
say, as far as that's concerned, we differ on that. I don't totally disagree that utilization of $2.5 million in tax credits would be a bad thing. The problem is finding the private capital to drive that kind of investment. The problem is trying to build a $12 million entity in a market I should say a theater market that is not thriving anywhere in the country. Monies for these programs are drying up all over the country. If you look at the national level, quite honestly, in my mind, coming coming out of the private sector. If that were to have been privatized, somebody would have bought it in the last 10 years and done it, and it would be done, and it hasn't been done. The program that we're looking at with MCLA I think is highly sustainable, creates a campus off campus, brings students and life into the downtown, brings faculty in downtown, provides year-round programming, management through internships and all that other stuff.
Well, can I say, how close are you to some kind of getting this project off the ground?
Well, we're basically right now we're getting another set of architectural renderings based on the last one we had was kind of that full-blown renovation restoration. The day you caught us in the building there, Tammy, and actually we got something since then. But we're looking now at more of an evolution of a theater, an evolution of that corridor. I think that we could probably do something in the $4 million range. And I really do think that we could do something and bring it along quite quickly. And I would think sometimes an announcement within the next 6 months, construction within the next year possibly. I just want to talk, if I can, a little bit. You asked about growth in the downtown. Can I address that also? I think Councilor Boucher sees empty storefronts. I see tremendous growth in the sense of particularly expansion. If we come down the street, first of all, the transcript office obviously is quite beautiful, and the Transcript and Advocate. If you look at Sheer Madness and the investment that they've made in their business and the expansion there, I Got Goodies, probably triple the square footage that she had in her other store. Petrino's is still a challenge, and we need to work at that. But you come down, you got Shima, you've got Keith Creations, which is now going to be fully expanded to 3 storefronts to include the big antique store. The Hub is again always thinking, should we expand? Should we not? You go down, you got the Sushi House. So it's to me, it's not all vacancies. You come down Holden Street now. We've got Taylor is quickly turned over into public. And we've got Bark and Cat that just expanded. Again, there was an expansion of that store. Hemingway's, and you can continue up the street. Now, the other thing I think we forget to mention is today the Holiday Inn signs went back up on the North Adams Inn, and it's very, very enlightening to know that they were able to meet those deadlines and to do that work. But that was I'm sure $1 million plus renovation into the hotel in this city. So this really tells me, if we're talking about growth, I've seen substantial growth. Car Hardware, the Breen Center move, the pending Walmart building, Super Walmart building. I mean, I think there's significant growth going on.
You talk about growth. A lot of these are just lateral moves. How many jobs were actually created through all this? None.
No, not necessarily.
Well,
you think Desperados didn't bring any jobs?
Well, the alley was there before.
But
they lost jobs. They replaced those jobs.
But you don't think Desperados, with the success that they're doing, that
he may have 1 or 2 extra people.
Oh, I don't think so. I think you're wrong.
You're looking at the car dealership over there. You lost a car dealership. Car Hardware's going. It's a lateral move for them.
But
you say 8 to 12 new jobs. There's not going to be 8 to 12 new jobs there.
That's what the owner told me. 8 to 12 new jobs.
I find that very hard to believe.
They have 4 and 5 employees. They're going to be employed
What I'm
16,
asking
you
talk about economic development. What's your plan for economic development?
My plan for economic development is keep pounding the pavement, just like we've been doing. Continual plan. I have to ask you something. One of the things that I wasn't able to finish at the last debate was we were talking about the mattress manufacturers.
Yes.
And in the newspaper, you basically said that we were too quick to make that announcement. And I want to clarify that, because too quick was timely. Because in order for us to make the announcement, we got a letter of intent in order for us to offer the tax incentive. Unless we did that behind closed doors, let me finish, please. Unless we did that behind closed doors, we had to make it public. You said I didn't do my due diligence. All right, I spent an hour and a half in front of the Council's Finance Committee with a whole host of people in there, and I don't believe you were at that meeting.
No, because I have another job I have to do.
Well, that's okay.
I'm just saying.
You're council president. This was a major manufacturer coming into town. Whether you can be there or not, that's up to you. I'm not making excuses for it. I'm just saying you weren't there. So don't tell me to do the due diligence. I came in and did a total presentation of that tax package. I presented the company. I talked about their $3 million worth of cash that they had in hand. I talked about $1.8 million in equity that they had. I talked about the significant amount of inventory that they had. I talked about the trip that myself and Ross Bavori and Mike Nuvelli made to tour their plant. I talked about the 4 or 5 conversations that I had, and I had Mass Development, Mike Vitavelli from Mass Development there. So don't talk, I don't want to hear about due diligence. And then I think one of the straws that broke the camel's back was your comment. You want to talk about economic development? One of it is being business friendly. Your comment, I believe August 2nd or August 9th in the transcript was, if we can't, and I'm paraphrasing, okay, I don't know the exact comment. Paraphrasing. If they're not paying their taxes in New York, how can we expect them to pay them here? And I'm wondering what kind of message that sent to the president of WCW.
Do you think a company of that size is going to be affected by one statement? And first of all, I'll be very honest with you, I don't think their intent was to come here in the first place. They were using us as a bargaining chip. They were going to Manchester all along. I think they used North Adams and here as a bargaining chip. And that's my belief.
And I think you can have that belief. You weren't part of the process. I was fully engaged in that thing for 5 or 6 weeks at a very hectic pace. I do think that I think they had great intent to be here. The numbers just worked out better in Vermont. But I do think if I'm sitting there as president of a company and I'm thinking of investing $3 million in a new facility in a new city, and I have the person who may be mayor make a comment like that, no, that didn't do it, but I'll tell you, it didn't help it.
And then you use the blogs as an excuse. That he read the blogs and he was turned off by the blogs.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a true business entrepreneur, you're not going to let a few people's decisions or comments make a change. And because I truly believe this, you know, Mayor, and in that I wasn't at that finance meeting, but you know what? It was never brought up once that they were in foreclosure up there. Never once, was it?
They weren't in foreclosure.
They weren't in foreclosure.
They're not in foreclosure. They were in tax title. But that was because of, and that's a pending lawsuit. You don't think companies have lawsuits with municipalities?
Absolutely, but they did not pay any taxes,
They
did
didn't pay any taxes because they were fighting their assessment.
Right.
They were fighting their assessment.
But they could have made a payment in lieu of taxes?
Well, not necessarily.
Absolutely.
They're fighting their assessment.
Well, we disagree, but I don't think their intent was ever to come here.
Well,
I think they use this as a bargaining chip.
I would disagree with that. I didn't feel used at all.
Okay.
That's our difference.
Okay, let's do an easy one. Do you support the bike path?
Absolutely. I think.
If I can use training wheels and a helmet, yes.
I think
well,
it.
go
I
ahead.
think,
You
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I just think. I think it's great. It brings families out. I love to see it expand through North Adams to the Williamstown border. I think it'd be great for the local economy too.
If I may, I was at the Berkshire Regional Transit's meeting last week on the Pittsfield actually was voted through the process last month that Pittsfield was going to get our spur from Lime Street when it extends to Lime Street to Hodges Crossroad. And thanks to our friends in Adams and myself, we went down and we lobbied at the last meeting for a vote of reconsideration, because the vote that they took that away from us, in a sense, the vote that they took that day was the day after Irene, or actually the Tuesday after Hurricane Irene. And so many of us from North County, including the selectmen and Jonathan Butler and myself, the voting members, could not get there. So we will take that up again next month to see if we can revisit that process. The other thing too is, as far as the bike path is concerned, it is a tremendous economic boost, and we do have all the design heading west between here and Williamstown. So we need to get it from Lime Street to Hodges Crossroad. That's the next battle I'll be fighting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's another.